Pickaxe.
Support your favorite D&D podcast, Cast Party, at patreon.com/castparty. Help us continue making the best D&D content that we possibly can for you all to listen to, all while getting some awesome perks. Ad-free episodes, access to our community Discord, behind-the-scenes chats, exclusive monthly one-shots, and so much more. Patreon.com/castparty. We can't thank you enough for your support. Enjoy the episode, cast and crew, and good luck. Welcome, cast and crew, back to Nocturne, A Curse of Strahd Tale. My name is Ryan McManus, and I will be your director for today. You can find me running the Cast Party socials at Cast Party and D&D, or on my personals at Ryan.McManus, and I am joined today by my cast and crew, stuck in a church, still not finding no bones, that's for sure. We got Vince.
Hello there. I'll be playing Theren. You could find me at Dr. Stoice at any sort of socials that you want to look me up at.
We have Christian.
Open your mind, and you'll find the truth, which is that I'm Christian. I wasn't going to go as hard into it as Vince did, but I wanted to try. I'm Christian. I'm here. I'm playing Tannis, a chain forged in blood. And you can find me at my socials at Captain Carlson, and that's captain.carlson on TikTok, and it's cpt.carlson on Instagram, and it's cptcarlson with no dot on Twitch. Thanks.
The monopoly on all the usernames. We have May.
Hi, I'm May.
Hi, May.
And I play Zielle. And if you vote me for president, I promise to get the bones.
Wait a minute, no.
No, I like this plan. Yes, bones. Yes, bones.
No bones.
Yeah.
No bones.
This is the name of the episode now. Something about bones. You're welcome, Ryan. And Zielle is like slaying and stuff. And I'm Melefe on social media.
And back for his fourth intro, we have Jose.
Hey everybody, my name's Jose and I'll be playing Alizzato. I don't know how to pronounce my own character's name. Who's another soul wandering in perpetuity with the best beard in Vallaki. And I'm just excited to not collect any bones and not do any of the tasks that Ryan wants us to do because fuck this place and also Chaos Eternal. Let's go!
No!
Yeah! Chaos Eternal, let chaos reign forever.
Ricky descended the stairs, a good morning to be had, only to find the two boys feuding and offered a pat on the back. Sensing the tension in the air, Zielle suggested they wait outside as Theren and Tannis stood up and, for now, put their differences aside. For a monkey was to be met, and Blinsky awaited. Is he the one to help you fight the devil? Is he the one Madame Ava truly fated? You waltzed into Blinsky's, a gloomy man filled with delight. Baron looked for toys while Alizzato's keen sight saw not only a puppet of Strahd, but a doll of a familiar redhead, pointing it out to Zielle, who was able to piece together this thread. The doll was of Irina, and wasn't the only one made. 89 carved in her image, but none yet perfected, I'm afraid. You found the Baron's bodyguard, Isaac, was the one requesting these dolls, a haunting thought to be sure, for who knows where his allegiance falls. Theren bribed Blinsky to take the doll as a gift, while Tannis waited outside as his eyes sure did shift towards a pebble at his feet and a man beckoning him to an alley. Ernst had noticed them around town, and they are now requested by the Wachter family. Food, bed, and weapons, an allyship to be made. The group rejoined together after Blinsky had been paid. St. Andrew's awaited, but it had been for 4 episodes, but don't worry, the party will find the bones in another 4, heaven knows. You all spoke with Father Lucian and debated on telling Irina about Isaac. Would she rather not know, or does she deserve to get the ick? So she can steer clear of the man, or stay safe in the church. When Tannis brought up his proposal for a safe haven, you may not have to search. You all agreed to meet with Fiona and hear out the Wachter's request. But first, some bones must be laid to rest. The last thing that filled the air of St. Andrew's Cathedral was the beckoning call of Zielle, asking for Irina to have a chat about the one called Isaac and the dolls. She stood up from her pew at the head of the church with Father Lucian and begins to walk down the aisle towards you all. Did you have a nice chat?
Nice is a subjective word, but we talked. Irina, darling. We have something to tell you.
I figured.
We were just trying to figure out the best way to word this because it is a weird thing, but I know that we promised to protect you and you have some capability of protecting yourself as well, so we want to tell you what we discovered while we were out this morning. We went to a toy shop, Blinsky's Toys. You remember the float we saw in the parade with the monkey
with the monkey and the candy. Yes.
So we went to the shop, and this might not be something, but it also very much might be something. We found a doll that looked like you that Blinsky was commissioned to make.
I'll hold up the doll for her.
Oh. Theren, as you raise the doll, it almost makes eye contact with Irina. That does resemble me, doesn't it? Don't really see redheads around here.
Right, and the other thing that made it seem kind of weird, I mean, you know, everything seems to be connected in this weird way in Barovia, and, well, Isaac, you remember the scary man with the arm from the parade, the Baron's bodyguard?
I do.
Apparently, he was the one who commissioned it, along with 88 other similar copies of this doll of this person that he'd seen in his dreams.
Me? You think I'm the one showing up in this man's dreams? For what? For why?
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like everything... I mean, we're connected to you, we're connected to each other. It's just all these strings in the story, you know. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. We're gonna find the bones and we're gonna keep you safe. Nothing has changed as far as that goes, but we thought it was better, you know, just to be aware, right?
She places a hand on her chest in shock. Can't really make eye contact with you or the rest of your party, but it's almost like she's more avoiding the eye contact of the doll itself as she wanders her eyes about the cathedral, just trying to find something to focus on to get her thoughts right in this situation.
Do I notice this?
Oh, you all do, with ease.
I will put it away. I'll put it in a bag, like at the bottom of whatever sort of bag that I have.
You shove that deep down, you made your point clear, and you got the evidence across, as Irina tries to regain her composure. So we have to leave Vallaki then.
We're going to. We just
I mean, an easier solution would be Isaac makes like a swiping motion across his neck with his hand. You know.
I feel like that's easier said than done given that man's demon arm producing flame.
Right, but I think not impossible.
By no means.
And once that's done, then problem solved.
So what am I to do? Stay huddled in the church while you guys go kill the henchmen of the Baron?
Well, there is another option. We might have a conversation with someone, and then we could stay there, and it's much better protected.
Do you know how far it is from here? How am I supposed to get there? I don't want to walk through these streets, barefaced. What if a guard sees me and reports him? If this Isaac has dolls of me, people must be looking for me.
Well, Zielle's got a cloak, and I've got a mask, so you don't have to walk through the streets barefaced.
Anything to hide the hair?
Well, so Zielle's got a cloak. The cloak has a hood, yes? I say, turning to Zielle.
It does, but we still haven't established if this manor has hollowed ground, because I don't think Isaac is the biggest problem, right?
Right, I was just saying that, you know, until we've taken care of Isaac and reestablished hollowed ground, weapons are better than no weapons, since there is no hollowed ground at the moment. And I don't know if hollowed ground will affect Isaac in any way.
The people here aren't fighters. Everyone in this church seeks refuge. They don't seek violence. They don't seek any harm to anyone. They're just trying to find a safe place to rest their minds for the night. And what if he shows up here? No one's gonna stop him from taking me. So if we can get there safely, and this house has everything you say it does, weapons and allies are better than a church full of mourners. If we aren't aware of the alignment of this Fiona, it might be best for me to stay here until you solidify that plan. I mean, if Isaac hasn't been here yet, I don't know how often he frequents a church.
I think that's a good plan. Someone should stay with Irina just in case.
I could stay with Irina if you all wish. They did come speak with Tannis only. Maybe perhaps they know of my allegiance with you all, but perhaps not. It wouldn't hurt if they're only interested in Tannis. And if you all went with them, then you all can gather this information on your own. I know the city pretty well, and I know Father Lucian here, so I could stay with Irina should you all need to.
Suppose so, but I also think that might be what makes you best suited to go with the party going to the house. You know the ways of the city and any politics or anything that we are not privy to, so I will stay with Irina. I don't mind at all. I enjoy her company.
I lean into Zielle and I kind of whisper and I'm like, and are you going to be upset if we just murder everybody?
Not if I don't see it.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I look at Theren, take a moment to gauge the eye contact, sort of nod to myself and turn back to Alizzato. So you are going to be sort of the face, right? You'll do the speaking.
I look up, admiring the space around me. I guess I can do that.
Great. Okay, so we'll do that, and then Zielle will hang out with Irina. Maybe you two could go look for. Wait. We were looking for something.
Yeah. No. While you guys do that, I think we'll find the hollowed bones. We'll probably fix the wine problem. Maybe we'll go shopping after, and then we'll meet you guys when you're done. Also, I need to talk to you about something later, Tannis. We can get into it later. It happened at the toy shop. Talk about it tonight.
Great. Alizzato, lead on.
I can help with the bones if it's needed. I'll look to the two boys or a new friend.
Fiona wants to speak with us to recruit us to gather some sympathy towards her cause to take down the Baron. She's been at this for years. It's a whole thing that she has. It's two of the most powerful things here in Vallaki, having big, powerful people problems. Doesn't really concern us. We're really just there to see if we can trust Fiona. If you wish to come and be a third set of eyes, it would be appreciated. Perhaps maybe you may have something to contribute. However, if you went with Zielle, you could provide your services and...
I look at Theren in the eyes. I don't know what happened to the bones, so there's a potential whoever took them has the intention to keep them, if that's exciting to you. There is, of course, the potential of political intrigue at the house. So, if that sounds exciting to you, you can join in that as well.
Irina, do you have a preference? I know you feel unsafe at this moment.
That makes no difference to me. I know those words don't help in this situation. Father Lucian told me that people don't come here to the church until later in the evening, when they hold a ceremony, mass, and then people stay for the night, just for refuge. So I feel safe here at least until the evening. But I would ask that you guys come and get me, so we can figure out whether I'm going to the Wachters or somewhere else.
Theren, I think it might be best if you stay. I can't imagine anything will happen with our conversation, and I don't know what will happen with the bones, so if I have to choose, that seems the riskier proposition. That's my vote, but of course your will is your own.
Have fun, boys.
Stay safe.
If potentially you catch eyes at all with Tannis, he's glaring from underneath the broody eyebrows, cigarette between his fingers, and so as he makes eye contact, he's gonna turn his head and spit, not necessarily at you, but just spitting as though because he's been smoking. But it is definitely an action that could be interpreted as disrespect. Clearly, an aura of I don't like you is emanating. He's going to turn and follow after Alizzato.
When Theren is turning, he's going to catch that, stop for a moment, give a little bit of a bigger smirk, and give you a little wink, and then just go back to Irina.
I'll just flick the cigarette in your direction then.
As Alizzato and Tannis clamber shut the big double cathedral doors, we are going to stay in the church with Theren and Zielle. So, Father Lucian's waiting to take you down into the crypt. He might be a little confused that two just walked out, but I'm sure you can find something.
Finding bones in a crypt, I think that'll be pretty easy.
The bones aren't there. That I can assure you.
How are there not bones in a crypt? That's where they belong.
You'd think so.
He's not so much into, like, religion and all that stuff. We should go see Father Lucian. He's waited long enough.
And she escorts you back down the aisle towards the head of the church, the stone dais still pushed forward, revealing a hole in the ground, with stone stairs descending down. As Father Lucian hears your footsteps echoing throughout the chamber walking towards you all, he stands up. Is it time to descend? The others aren't joining us.
They have a small task to attend to at the moment. They'll be back soon.
We knew it would be fine with just the two of us. Well, three of us with Irina.
Understood. Please watch your step. It's not every day that people go down here. And he gestures you all down the stairs. As you waltz down, it is very dirty. Dust covering each stair, cobwebs across each beam, trying to hold up the stone dais above you all as you descend maybe 10 feet down into a small 5x5, if that, crypt directly below the major altar of the church. You see a small altar made of stone with no bones on top. Just so I can show you where they used to be. I was the only one who knew of the bones for years. Then I made the mistake of slipping to Yeska, my altar boy. He's young. I can't imagine he would steal them himself. I pestered him and asked him if he told anybody. The boy shook, nodded. He seemed scared, but he would not divulge a name. That is all I know. I was just trying to put the boy's fearful heart at rest and tell him of St. Andrel. But it looks like my generosity did me in.
Well, don't blame yourself for that. When again did they go missing? When did you last see them here?
Oh, it had to have been a week or two at max.
How often do you come down here to check them?
Oh, rarely. I would say at the very earliest about a month ago.
What would make someone want these bones, I guess? Were there any special properties to them, or were they just simply maybe someone would want to get rid of the church's protection?
That is sadly the thing that I'm afraid of. The bones are holy. They belong to a saint. I don't know what anyone would want with them, but seeing as this is the only church in Vallaki, I fear it is only for malice.
There were no clues of anything when you discovered the bones missing. No items here, no footsteps, anything.
None at all, but my eyes aren't what they used to be. That's why I'm hoping you two might be able to help.
What's the light situation like in here?
The only light you can see is beaming in from these stained glass windows that sit behind the altar that seemingly shine down the steps towards you all. There are no torches. It is purely relying on the light coming through the stained glass from the outer portion of Vallaki.
I am going to pull my sword out, tap in the middle of the room right at the ceiling, one of the bricks with a sword, and cast light on it.
As that clank happens on the stone above, the small crypt is illuminated, only enhancing the dirty nature of this small crypt. And with that, why don't you both give me investigation checks, now that the lights are shining bright throughout the crypt?
I got an 8.
6.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, I rolled the higher one.
Can I have Baron search too?
Sure.
What did Irina roll?
I am going to roll for Irene. I just have to get her stat block on.
Are you kidding me, Baron?
Y'all made the right decision by splitting up.
Oh, good.
Irina got an 18 on the die.
Hey, all right.
As you both are talking with Father Lucian, Irina, feeling a little left out of the conversation, not really knowing how she can help, begins to look about, checking the stairs, checking around the altar, feeling up the walls. She doesn't really find anything until a small patch of dust on the floor, which almost seems covered at this point, given how dusty it is down here, reveals a small footprint as she crouches down and looks up at the both of you. This doesn't look like something Father Lucian would wear.
How big does it look?
Adult-sized, but it doesn't look like any sort of religious sandal, footwear, anything of the sorts. This looks like the tread of a work boot imprinted into the dust.
Seeing that one, I'm going to get down on the ground and search for more footprints, and I'll have Baron do the same. I'll check the left side of the room and then have Baron check the right side of the room.
Go ahead and give me investigation with advantage.
How is an 18?
As Irina points out this singular footprint, again, it is nearly covered in dust once more, just with how dirty that this crypt gets. It doesn't have actual set stone walls. It is still earth on 3 sides. The stone from above is crumbling and cracking at the weight of this dais being moved over the roof of where you are standing. But you start to piece it together. There's a chip in the stairs that you can see coming down. There's a couple extra footprints leading up to the altar. They gather on the left side, and then as you look on top of the stone, you even see little strokes. Not a whole entire handprint, but motions in the dust, almost like something was dragged off of it. As the footprints then lead back up, you only notice one set of footprints, but it is this work boot style print.
Well, I think I found our culprit. Father.
Yes.
Any idea? Do these look familiar?
Oh, that is who I was afraid of. Given the work boot tread, I can only assume it might be our grave digger, landscaper, whatever you would like to call him. I employ the boy from time to time. He hasn't been around in a week, though.
He's a boy.
Oh, convenient.
Oh, well, a boy to me. I would say 19, 20.
Wait a second. You said they were the bones of a saint. Is it Saint Andrew himself, or
That it is.
does the boy perhaps have any relation?
Oh, not that I'm aware of. He's an orphan.
Why would he have any interest in a saint's bones?
If I could tell you, I would love to. I wouldn't need your help if I knew his reasonings behind all of this.
And when was the last time he was seen? You said he's been gone for more than a week.
Has not shown up for his duties. Brushes outside are getting a little scraggly.
No one questioned this before? Why is this just being brought up now?
Oh, maybe I just didn't want to accept that Milovaj would do something like that.
Where do you think that this Milovaj could be found?
He stays at the orphanage. St. Andrew's orphanage. Lives there, works there, takes care of the kids. They are short-staffed and overrun.
Thank you, Father Lucian. We'll do our best.
Thank you. I know you'll come back. Bones in tow.
Please, watch over Irina for us while we're gone.
She won't leave my sight. And I promise no one else will come through those doors. At least till evening. You have until about 5, 6. I know it's hard to tell, given the mist in the sky. I'll ring the bells.
Perfect.
You can tell on his face that Theren is not enjoying this, but he will give a little bow to the father out of appreciation and thanks.
I'm so proud.
I wish you well. May the Morning Lord guide you in your journey. You all were staying at the Blue Water Inn, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That is correct.
Perfect. You get to the corner, and if you're looking at the Blue Water Inn, go right, and then you turn that corner, and I'm not good at directions, but if you keep walking straight, you'll find it. It's the only building that isn't properly surrounded. It actually has a little plot of land, aside from the church.
Go to the right from the Blue Water Inn. Look for some land and a bunch of kids. Got it.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you all.
As we turn around and start walking towards the door, I just nudge Zielle. You didn't see anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what I thought.
As you all begin to exit, right behind your friends, though about half an hour behind, Alizzato and Tannis. We move to you all. Alizzato, knowing Vallaki inside and out, for the most part, you do know where Wachter House resides. Again, very similar to the location of the Blue Water Inn, though this one is off a side street. The St. Andrew's Orphanage might have a plot of land, but Wachter House has its own hill. It stands and looms over the city of Vallaki as you begin to trudge forth.
Tannis definitely lit up another cigarette. Other than that, he's being very broody.
Alizzato is doing that thing where like he's walking, and every couple of times he just kind of like glances over at you, and then he goes, "So Theren, you don't like the boy?"
When I look back at you, is this like a genuine conversation you're trying to start, or is there like a level of like you're leading towards a different question? Like, is this one of those parent conversations where it's like, if you answer this, it goes here? Or is this genuinely Alizzato trying to, like, get me to open up?
Probably a mixture of both. It's both a poking and also a genuine interest to lead up to that. It wasn't that we started walking and then we talked. It was like deafening silence and all you can hear is our footsteps. And then I just said, "So, Theren, you don't like the boy?"
I mean, it's not that I don't like him. You do what I do for long enough and you start to recognize when handshakes are holding back daggers.
And what do you do, Tannis?
I make problems disappear for a particular family. You wouldn't know anything about the Blake family, I don't imagine, but where I come from, everybody knows about the Blake family. They called me the Blood Shrike. I definitely had a career in making people go away. And having a career like that is definitely not something that earns you a lot of friends or a lot of trust. Mine is a little bit less forthcoming than maybe it would be in a different line of work.
So, no friends, no family, but easily able to get people to go away. So how did you find yourselves in the company of Theren and Zielle?
When we started this journey, another of my friends was here. Osria. You would have liked Osria. Tall, strong, fiercely kind. She was my friend. I think she was someone who saw good in me, and she asked me to go. That, and of course, there was a lot of gold involved. But I didn't know Theren before we started this trip. I met him the day that we embarked. He's been a mystery to me ever since. I don't know. Maybe I haven't made any friends at all. Might be right back where I started.
I used to know a gentleman. He was a bit younger than you. He had this idea of wanting to prove himself in absolute company of solace. This sort of mentality of eagerness without looking at the potential consequences was what led to his death. And look, I'm not here to coach you nor tell you what to do. Again, I don't believe we have gotten off in the right foot either. But if I were to say anything, is that I would trade everything I have for the company that you now keep.
He stops walking for a minute. You see the eyebrows sort of relax for a moment. They would be better with your company. You should stay with them. He frowns again. I don't find strength in my solace. No one knows this, so don't tell anyone.
My eyes perk up and I just get a look closer.
He chuckles. I was not always like this. I took after my mother. My mother was an artist. She saw the most beautiful things in what you would imagine the most ordinary circumstances, and she would read me stories. She taught me how to dance. She wanted me to sing. So I was not always someone who clung to the shadows, and there were a lot of things that have happened to me that have changed my course, and I accept that. I understand that the person that I am now is a penance for what I've done. But I do think that you are someone who sees beauty in the most ordinary of circumstances like my mother did. And if I could give Zielle or Theren a chance to meet my mother, then I would. So I think if this is company that you would like to keep, then you should keep it. And I apologize for my behavior. I'm sorry, Alizzato, you didn't deserve that disrespect. I struggle with my anger.
I don't want to hear no goddamn apologies from you, boy. And I just sort of lean in, and then I whisper in your ear, I'm like, you're not the only one that is punished for eternity. You are not alone in these lands, boy. And as long as I am within your company, I will look after you. For they are your friends, and in turn, a part of you. Fist to your chest very lightly. Apology accepted. And I offer my apologies as well.
He's going to put his fist to your chest. It's his right hand, and when it makes contact, he's wearing a glove, but it's also definitely not flesh that's making contact with you. It feels like metal as he makes contact with that hand, as he looks you in the eye. To the sinners and the damned.
I'm not one for names, but I like that.
He's going to very purposefully take the cigarette, tamp it out on his pant leg, and then flick it backwards, trying to make it very clear that he's not flicking it anywhere in your direction. And then he'll continue to follow you towards this manor house.
Well, now you just threw it on the ground. This makes it worse. Now you've littered.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
Now it's somewhere else. You can smoke. Just don't blow the smoke in my direction. I have very sensitive lungs. It's all it is. I used to partake in smoking, but that was a long time ago. But now I want to be considerate of my body. Come on, boy.
Right. No, I'm sorry. I'll pick it up and just awkwardly put it in my pocket. Of course, I'm sorry. After you.
If you notice it, when you come up after that, there is a look of, I was studying everything you were doing. And then when you nudge to move forward, I just still look at you. And then I nod and go ahead and keep walking towards the Wachter house.
You arrive at the base of the foreboding edifice, casting its shadow over the streets of Vallaki. Wachter House's architecture is a blend of Barovian Gothic and faded grandeur. Tall spires reaching towards the mist-filled skies and ornate balconies adorned with intricate wrought iron railings. The exterior walls, once painted in rich, colorful hues, are now weathered and peeling. Despite its dilapidated appearance, there is an undeniable aura of authority and power that emanates from Wachter House. Yet it's almost a feeling of faded elegance.
Look, I don't know, what awaits for us inside. And I don't know much of the ways of the heart. But I will tell you this, Tannis. Whatever strength you have within you, should the opportunity arise, take it.
He'll look at you and nod. They're nobles. The heart has nothing to do with it. They're all just trying to prove how big they are and how important they are. And if anything were to really get messy, I promise you they'd be the first out the door. Let's just talk to them and make them feel like they really matter, and they'll give us whatever we want.
All right. Boom, and I just slam on the door.
As you knock once on the door, it's quiet for a moment until you hear the pitter-pattering of footsteps. One door open and close, muffled behind the current door. And just about eye level, Alizzato, you see a little slot in the door. Shh. I don't remember anyone mentioning company, I'm sorry. What do you need?
I'll just peek in my one eye closer. Oh, company is never expected. One should never anticipate company. The door should always be open to allies. And this is what we come to you as.
Who requested your presence?
I look at Tannis.
It was, what was his name? Ernst. Who's Ernst?
The second he hears the name Ernst, the eye slot closes. You hear the door unlock from the inside as the door swings inward. And you see a well-dressed man adorned in a black tuxedo welcomes you inside. All you had to do was say so. Welcome to Wachter House. Fiona is waiting for you. I don't believe she expected you this early. Are you hungry? Should I prepare a meal, or Fiona is just relaxing by the fire?
A meal would be terrific, thank you. You said Fiona's in here?
Noted. Can I take a coat, anything of the sorts for you all?
I'll hand him this overcoat that I bought at the store, this sort of little brown duster overcoat. Thank you. Sorry, what did you say your name was?
Jacob.
Jacob. Thank you. And a meal would be terrific.
Of course, let me hang this real quick and I will guide you in. at least show you where Lady Fiona is, and then I will get started on a meal. Is there any special requests?
If you could make chicken noodle soup, that would be terrific.
I'll do my best. He walks to a closet just by the front door, opens up and hangs your overcoat as he moves inward to a stained glass door and welcomes you inside.
At this point, I guess Tannis really notices Alizzato has no shoes. So they're just like bare feet. Just kind of like wipe them on the entrance of the house, but it's just my bare feet. And then I look over, and as Tannis hands over the cloak, I just kind of pat myself down, and then I reach in and I pull out a leaf, and then I hand it over.
He reaches out with just his pointer finger and thumb and grasps the stem. I'll get this hung up, sir.
Make sure it's hung up properly.
He peers down, very obviously, at your bare feet, looks back up, and moves over to a stained glass door as you all enter the house. You move to the base of a wooden staircase with 2 doors on either side from the small entrance, and he opens the leftmost door, creaks it open, and peers his head in. Lady Fiona, you have company. I'm going to prepare a meal, but there are 2 gentlemen here to see you. As he leaves you 2, an enormous parlor, as he then goes into the stained glass door behind you. And as he opens up, you can see that it is a small kitchen that he is walking into.
As he walks away, I'm going to turn back to Alizzato. There are 2 ways we can approach this. I have some familiarity with the noble sphere and the way that nobility operate, so we can go that direction. Or I can let you be the face, and I will stand by whatever it is that you say. I don't really know why I trust you as much as I do, but you just seem trustworthy, so I'm hoping that I'm right. So I'm tossing this to you. Whichever direction you want to go with this, we'll go.
I like your take. I will be your guide amongst these lands. I am feeble of the mind and think about things much differently than the average folk, so allow yourself to benefit from your formalities with the nobles. I will fill in the gaps when I can.
I'll turn on a heel, a breath in, and as that breath enters, Tannis' stature sort of adjusts from this slightly relaxed, c'est la vie, shoulders drooped, head slanted. He takes on this more regal pose that seems very practiced. The shoulders sort of cock back, the spine stiffens, his neck goes straight up. He takes in a deep breath, sighs. Right. And then he's going to strut into the room, and I think there's a pretty definite difference in the way that he moves. Like, it definitely seems as though he's put on a character as he walks into this room.
Just in time, because as you walk into this enormous parlor, you see again the dining room off to the right with a table that stretches the length of this room, a vibrant shining crystal chandelier hanging above it. The silverware seems to be tarnished and the dishes are almost chipped, yet are all still quite elegant. There are 8 chairs seated here, their backs adorned with sculpted elk horns that all surround the table. There are arched windows made of a latticework of iron and glass that look out upon the fog-swept estate. And off to your right, you see a woman approaching you from a smaller seating area. There are 3 elegant couches surrounding an oval table made of black glass. All are set in front of a blazing hearth, above which hangs the portrait of a smirking nobleman sporting a broken nose and a tangle of gray hair at his temples. Several smaller portraits hang on the north wall, most of which seem to be family portraits. And one catches your eye as the lady walking towards you all, greeting you from the parlor entrance. You see a tall, slender woman, her face in the shape of a diamond. Her eyes are strikingly brown as her mop of black hair is all curled up. Mop, but in an elegant way. She wears a high collar dress, ruby necklace, and her sleeves give off an elegant flow as it cinches around her waist and falls to the floor. As she turns the corner from the parlor, Alizzato, in my establishment, who would have thought? And Tannis.
Lady Fiona, It is but a pleasure. I would have washed my feet, but you know how it goes when you have no shoes.
It's perfectly all right. And where are the others?
Tannis will give a curt bow of respect. Lady Wugna, they are otherwise engaged with matters involving the Church of the Morning Lord. So sorry that they could not be in attendance, but they do send their regards and their warmest welcomes. I am here to speak on their behalf, as it was me that you reached out to specifically. So, beautiful house that you have, he says, sort of like sweeping a gesture around. The portraits themselves are also very lovely. I can tell that you have quite the taste.
As you say that you are here to speak on their behalf, her smile is still there, though her disposition changes a little bit, and she is almost speaking through her teeth at you. I assume the other people would be joining. Thank you. I'm so happy that you are able to be guests in my humble abode.
Tannis will flash a grin that does not reach his eyes. We could always reconvene when they are able to attend, if it is that I am not sufficient as an intermediary.
No, excuse the slight at you. It was by no means my intentions. There's just one of you that I was hoping to speak with. Have a seat. Can we speak around the fire? Just take a seat, relax, and...
Which one of us is it that you were hoping to speak with, if I might ask? He says as he sort of like takes a seat, very elegantly crosses one leg over another.
She politely gestures Alizzato to the second couch.
I go to motion like I'm going to go sit in the couch, and you said there's a fireplace?
Yes.
Then I just sort of go to motion. I touch the back of the couch delicately, and then I nod to her, and then I sit on the ground next to the fireplace.
She places herself on the couch directly facing the fireplace, whereas Tannis, you are to her right. As she tucks her dress behind her legs as to not ride up while she sits down. The one with the blonde hair.
Ah, yes, of course. Well, she is highly sought after. I am not surprised that you wish to speak with her. May I convey a message to her that you wish to have delivered, or is it something that is for her ears?
No, we'll get into that. We will.
Of course. Sorry, I'm rushing. Where are my manners? I'm so sorry. Please, lead on.
Right, thank you again for joining us, and in such short notice. Apologies that the meal isn't prepared. I didn't expect you to be so prompt.
Yes, I figured that a message as earnest as the one that I received required immediate attention, and so I imagined that I would get over here as quickly as I could. But you can imagine that makes it difficult for people as highly sought after as our aforementioned blonde-haired friend.
Please make no mistake that seeing the two of you here delights me very much. It is just she is a specific piece of this puzzle that I am in need of. But no puzzle is complete without the rest. And I believe that you two, along with your other companion, play a very important role in that puzzle. As she leans back and begins to cross her legs, she sits up straight, squares her back. Alizzato, I've been trying to get you in this estate for long enough, but Tannis, our new friend, what is it that you think of Vallaki? Your time here, you're new. I love meeting new people. What catches your eye about this town?
Well, hard to say. It's quite the town, isn't it? I should say this, I think that there is quite a bit of potential in Vallaki. I love the populace. I love the layout. I think that the city establishment, as it could be, is very impressive. But I should say that there is a bit of, I don't know what's the word. Mishandling will have to suffice. A mishandling of the leadership, if I should be so bold.
When you say that, she tilts her chin, and you can see a very large smile come across her face as she has your full attention.
I match in the same smile. My hands resting on like my leg, and I just also like smile like,
I think that the leadership as is misrepresents what this town truly should and could be. So when I received your message, I was hopeful that we could have a conversation about a potential, how should I say, shift in priority?
Now, Tannis, it's almost like you were straight out of my dreams. Have you been reading my diary?
It's not the first time that I've heard that, Lady Walker, but I assure you, I have not been. Only that I am disappointed by the leadership as it stands. I feel that me and my friends all share the sentiment that we have been accosted by the leadership, that we feel threatened by the leadership as it stands, and we would like to see it changed to something more suitable to what Vallaki, I believe, truly stands for. The populace, as proven by Alizzato himself, is quite welcoming of the ideas and beliefs that I believe me and my friends all share.
She breaks eye contact with you and peers up to the painting hanging above the fireplace. Baron and I have never truly been on good terms, and that delights me to hear. Alizzato, I hope you share in this sentiment, and knowing that the other two do as well. We've been a large, opposing family in this city for quite some time. The Baron knows that he can't just get rid of me. The people here are done with him, done with his fear-mongering, done with his leadership, done with his parades, and we too think it's time for a change. That is why I sought you out, Tannis. That is why I sought you out, Alizzato, for all this time. I've had previous plans fail. More political in nature, but this one is different. We have the numbers now, and we're hoping to continue adding to that. Now, numbers in Vallaki don't mean much when we're not fighters. We have numbers in hopes of holding back the devil. But when he hasn't been around for 100 years and the Baron still spouts his nonsense, the devil, he doesn't care about us. He's just a negligent landlord at this point. He doesn't care about Vallaki. He would visit, he would be in the streets, he would be ruling this with an iron fist that the Baron so spouts out of his ass. My last plan didn't work, and that was something that I still hold dear in my heart. I don't know if I will ever get over the regret that I felt. So this one cannot fail, do you understand?
When I hear her say that, do I get a sense of the type of loss that this was? Is this personal in the sense that she lost someone, or personal in the sense that her ego was damaged?
Roll me insight.
Also, in that, would I recall what this last sort of...
Alizzato, roll me history.
That's an 11 on that insight check. I think Tannis is a little bit too preoccupied trying to keep this character up.
You notice from the way that she is staring at the painting above, she's looking at the painting with love, but a lump is caught in her throat. This is definitely a personal matter. And Alizzato?
12.
You know that Lady Fiona once had a daughter. You've seen her two drunken fools of sons at the Blue Water Inn time and time again. And her young daughter used to wander about town, enjoy the parades, but hasn't been seen in quite some time.
I'm just gonna shoot up, and I'm gonna stand behind Tannis if Tannis is sitting on the couch. Be behind him more as now she has my attention, but also bodyguard-esque demeanor.
I'll uncross those legs and sort of lean forward a bit, still maintaining that regal form, but sort of putting my arms on my thighs as I lean forward. I'm sorry for whatever plan it was that caused you such pain. But I assure you that if it is that we are to find alliance with each other, we will not fail.
That's what I like to hear. And you came at just the right time, as it's about to be underway. Do you have any plans for the Festival of the Blazing Sun? As we move to Theren and Zielle.
I don't like that, but I love it.
Waltzing through the streets, you approach St. Andrew's Orphanage, trying to follow Father Lucian's directions as much as possible. You come upon the quaint two-story building just off this side street from the town square. This home, unlike all of the others in Vallaki, has a small yard out front. which you can see wraps around to the back of the building as well. The exterior is constructed from weathered stone, its surface etched with age-old patterns, and ivy clings to the walls, crawling its way up to the rooftop. A narrow cobblestone path leads you directly to a sturdy wooden door, with St. Andrew's Orphanage carved into a makeshift wooden hanging sign on the front door. As you approach, I do need investigation checks from both of you.
That's karma. May, that's karma.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I rolled a nat 1.
Hey, does it help if I rolled a 15?
Yeah!
Okay.
Don't say that like it's impressive.
Theren, as you walk up this narrow cobblestone path, your eyes glance upward. First to the house, where you notice a broken window on the second floor. All of the other windows perfectly intact, though this one you can see that the glass had shattered and they have boarded it up from the inside. The rest do seem pristine. As well, hovering around the tree, looming over the St. Andrew's Orphanage, 12 crows.
Zielle. Crows.
They're just crows. There's 12. You remember the poem, right? 12 is for health. Why health?
I guess I'm in good spirits and I'm in good health.
Let's just go find Millavage.
We don't even know what this Millavage looks like, do we?
No, but I think you remember what I said about subtlety earlier? It has to do everything with how we approach other people, and perhaps we should do so kindly, I guess. We don't need to tell him exactly what we're looking for immediately. We'll probably have to get to that, but maybe we ease into it, you know? Listen, there's a couple reasons why people would want holy bones. It might not be something so evil or awful. They might have just wanted to put the bones to rest, which would require burying them, essentially. Or it might be, I don't know, I mean, he's an orphan. Maybe he thought to sell them to get by, to survive. I just think we should maybe still be nice as opposed to antagonistic.
I'll be nice.
I know you can be.
We will keep it subtle. And I kick the front door open.
It is immensely locked. So I'm going to need you to take 1 point of bludgeoning damage for that as you go to kick the door, and your knee nearly bends in on itself. As a couple moments later, you hear the door unlock, and it swings inward. Can I help you?
Turn towards Zielle.
Yeah. We were actually looking to adopt.
Yeah, well, we are a lovely couple looking for a new child.
Opening the door is a elderly woman, pure white hair pulled up in the tightest bun you could ever imagine, with a small little hand eyeglass. She's in very formal wear. This stern woman looks back at you. With a temper like that, I don't think you're getting anywhere. Please leave the premises.
I'm so sorry. I tripped. I fell into the door.
He's very clumsy, but
Big sword on the back. It throws you balance off at times. Need something to protect this lovely wife.
he cares a lot. He just cares so much.
Deception checks from both of you, or one of you can do it with advantage.
You might want me to do that with advantage.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you. You can do it. You're leading the line. I'm gonna let you take this one.
8 plus 5, so 13, right?
She looks at the both of you with her head tilted up, and she looks down her nose. I'm going to need to know why you're really here, or I will have you escorted off the premises by a guard.
We didn't want to scare him off, but Father Lucian from St. Andrew's Church, he sent us to inquire about Millavage, because they haven't seen him in a minute, and they were concerned.
You're just here to check in on Millie. Poor boy. If that's all you're here for, I can bring you to him, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
He's here currently.
Yes, very bedridden. Apologies.
Bedridden. Why?
Don't apologize.
Sick. We don't know what came over him. It started as a cough and then can't get out of bed. Can't go do his work outside of the orphanage as if he doesn't do enough here already.
Has he been sick for about a week?
Oh, maybe a little more actually.
Oh.
At least that's when it started.
Yes, if you could, please bring us to him. That'd be much appreciated.
I actually have some prowess in healing, so maybe I can help him.
That would be wonderful. We would love to have him back on his feet. It's been rough dealing with all of this on my own, and we've had to ask some of the other kids to help take care of, the younger ones, and anything for his health. As she gestures you in, you guys walk into the front hallway, which is paneled and dimly lit. The wooden floors are old and worn, and the steps of the main staircase sag with age that lead up to the second floor. You see a pile of children's shoes lie by the western wall, as she moves over to the door on the western side and opens it, beckoning you forward. As she opens these double doors and beckons you inside, you see the orphanage's main living area, which features an old couch, a few mismatched stuffed chairs, chests crammed with worn toys, and 2 small dining tables surrounded by chairs. You see 3 young girls crowd around a dollhouse in the south end of the room. An older boy paces around with a toddler resting on both hips as he tries to soothe the 2 of them. And another boy and girl are playing a game of tag and chasing each other around, while older girl sits on the couch and reads aloud to 4 more gathered toddlers, though almost to the room itself. It is just a pure den of noise and chaos. I apologize for the noise. Milivoje's room is just down at the opposite end. Is the door on the left. If I can guide you through there if you would like. I might have to take care of a child or 2 on the way.
I think we'll be able to make it ourselves.
Okay, I trust the 2 of you. I have to get back to paperwork, so please.
All right, we'll let you know if we have any questions.
Wonderful, yes, at the end of the room to the left, as she hurriedly closes the doors behind you and scampers back into the orphanage. Through the way, the kids are running about your legs, doing circles around you, trying to get your attention in one way or another to play with them in the meantime. Some are begging you to read to them, asking you to play dolls. Little ones come up with books and point them at you.
I will summon Baron and try to keep their attention.
Some of them seem a little fearful by that, given the gesture of a small ghost child, basically. Others are almost running through Baron as it wisps and then reforms, and then they do another lap through Baron as he wisps out and reforms back into his structure. But he does find some joy in spending time with the other children, getting to play for a little bit, though he can't really interact with too much. As you get to a smaller room towards the back of the orphanage, and it is currently closed.
Let's knock.
Be my guest.
From inside, all you hear is a cough, guttural, phlegmy, and it's not even a come in, more so a moan acknowledging your presence.
I'm gonna very gingerly open the door.
And you open into a sparsely furnished bedroom. The floors are covered with dirt. An old shovel lies on the ground at the foot of the bed. And you see a sickly young man lying fitfully in the bed. He's dripping in sweat from a fever and has blood-mixed bile on his lips. His skin is deathly pale, as you can see just bruises all throughout his appendages.
I'd like to reach in my pouch and crumble a yew leaf and cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Whoa.
Ooh. You open the door to Milivoj as you walk towards his bed, and he barely even opens his eyes to acknowledge the 2 of you. He just notices the footsteps and more groaning in your direction. As you crumple this leaf,
I'm just gonna sprinkle it on the ground, kind of like as I walk alongside the bed.
as your high heel boots begin to clack on this wooden floor, you crumple the leaf and you drift it behind you as you step closer to the bed. You look over his wounds and nothing can feel like it's pinpointed on any sort of disease that you know. You can tell that it's not contagious, but you can tell it's unnatural. Nothing in nature should be causing him to feel like this. You're almost getting a magical sense from it.
Do they have like a bucket with like a cloth in here with like water for his fever or anything like that?
I would assume so. It might not be as cold as he would like it, but there is water bucket with a little washcloth.
I'll lead with that. I will grab the washcloth, just kind of gently pat it on his forehead. Milivash? Millie?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Zielle, and this is my friend Theren here. Father Lucian sent us to check on you. I'm sorry you're feeling this way. How long have you been feeling like this?
Month.
A month. And she'll look at Theren.
Boy, what happened to you?
He just looks at you through very squinted eyes, the water rushing from the washcloth down his face, and he just shakes his head with a slight shrug, as much as he can muster at least.
What did you do with the bones? Did the bones do this to you? You must let us know if you want to get better.
He musters under his breath through coughing. Fuck off.
As I'm dabbing his forehead, cast Cure Wounds to maybe help him feel better.
As the magic from your hand washes through this water cascading down his forehead, you can sense a clear breath. One deep breath in through his lungs and out through his mouth. His demeanor doesn't really change, but you see just a slight relief wash over him as he can finally take a breath.
You see what we can do for you. We can't do more unless you aid us as well. We're not here to hurt you. We're not here to get you in trouble. You can trust us. We just need a little bit of help in return.
Theren, let's do Persuasion with advantage from Zielle's Cure Wounds.
19 plus 3, so 22.
He finally moves, and he brings his hand shakily up to the washcloth and just wipes all the way down and across his mouth just to get rid of the blood, and rests his hand on his chest. I did it for the kids.
Did what? Don't be afraid.
Through faint breaths now, I didn't take them. Just provided a location.
Who took them?
The last words that he can get out before the fever takes over. Henrik Vandervoort, coffin maker. As you can see, his hand sits on his chest and, still breathing, has fallen back asleep. The strength just to get out a couple words was enough for him for the day.
I will walk over to him, put my hand on his forehead to take a feel of how bad the fever is.
Theren, when you walk over and place your hand, the back of your hand on his forehead, you almost have to pull away. He is burning.
Theren, this isn't a natural illness. It's something darker.
Much. I don't know how much longer he might have. We'll be back, little one. And I'll run my hand through his hair, try to just clean him up a little bit. Just hold tight.
I'll finish wiping the blood from his face as well before I put the washcloth back.
You get his face all cleaned up, his hair swept back. Theren, your hand is almost drenched. The sweat that has pooled up in his shaggy brown hair has soaked through his pillow, his sheets. But he looks a little more presentable as he lies sleeping.
If there is a window in the room, I'd like to open it up to get some fresh air in here. Make my way out of the room.
Theren, you walk past Zielle, get a draft going from an open window beside Milivaj's bed. As you exit the bedroom of Millie, you walk back out into the main area of the orphanage. And I would like one more perception check from the two of you as you walk back through the main portion.
2.
Well, guess what? I got you. 14 plus 4, which is an 18.
Zielle, as you are walking back through the main living room. The children are walking up, running about, figuring out what is going on with Baron, playing around. And Zielle, you notice a couple things from the children as you're walking through. One little girl playing with the dollhouse has a similar series of splotchy bruises up and down her arms. An older girl reading to the toddlers on the couch rubs at her lower back. As she's scratching and you're walking behind the couch, her shirt rides up a little bit, only to reveal sharp, demonic tooth marks. And for today,
No!
that is a wrap.
Oh, sheesh.
I'm done.
Are you kidding me?
Things about to get real.
I did not expect y'all to split up this episode, but here we are in two separate houses dealing with two separate, very different conflicts. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks to see how these conflicts potentially resolve. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah,
Bye.
Whatever. Yeah.